quickly, you can't do the walk of shame if you only have 7 shirts.
That's awesome, color coded. Well, hey everybody, welcome to our Facebook Live. We are going to have the UnConference today in honor of our conference that we should be having tomorrow on Saturday the 25th. As you know, as a part of our way of helping you achieve your goals and dreams at I've Decided, we have 3 motivational leadership conferences for you every year. And tomorrow was our first half-day conference scheduled. And of course, we won't be able to do that. And the good news is all the speakers that were scheduled to speak tomorrow will be speaking at our September the 12th half-day conference. So that's the good news there. We're still going to get to see them. We're super excited about that. But I asked my good friends, Derrick Tennant, to join us. You guys remember Derrick and Julie? He was actually our very first speaker. So for some of you guys that are new to I've Decided, that weren't around 6 years ago, well, Derrick was. He was here with Julie, his sister, the very first year, and then came back the second year because we all loved you so much, Derrick. Came back the second year as our MC.
You stopped loving me the last 4, right?
We didn't stop loving you. We just, we had to have other people like Randy. A lot of you guys remember Randy from a couple of years ago, just super high energy. So I just thought it'd be kind of fun to have a little reminiscing session and do a little blast from the past and catch up with these guys and see how you're doing. And for those of you who might be watching that aren't familiar with I've Decided, my name is Kim Martin. I'm the founder of I've Decided. And our purpose is pretty simple. We help you achieve your goals and dreams, whatever they may be. And our mission is success. We want to make sure that you are successful in that. And so I've been touting all this time that no matter what, we are going to help you achieve your goals and dreams from however we can, wherever we can, doing what we can. That is our mission, and we're going to keep doing that. So I am excited to be here today with these guys and excited, hopefully, to be coming at you live on Facebook if it's all working. If it's all working properly, we'll find out at some point. But if not, we're recording it, so we'll post the recording later. So, Derrick, I know everybody's dying to know, how are you? How's Julie? What's happening? What's going on?
Yeah, we're great. People may not remember my name as Derrick. They may remember my name as Julie's brother. I made the mistake of bringing Julie on the first time, so everybody gets to know Julie. If you didn't get to meet Julie, Julie is my sister who has Down syndrome, which is an extra chromosome. And my grandfather told her she doesn't have an extra chromosome, but you and me are missing it. And he called it the love chromosome. And Julie is nothing short of amazing. She speaks with me all over the world and just changes lives. And as motivational speakers, you can imagine this whole virus thing is, everything I do requires a crowd, which is now illegal. So that's a challenge, but it's within the obstacles. One of the things we talked about 6 years ago is every obstacle presents opportunities, and our job is to find those opportunities and celebrate those opportunities. And through this whole thing, without any other streams of income, really, Julie and I have focused on her apparel business, which was kind of like a little side thing. So we've been focusing on that, and it's been a lot of fun. It's juliescoolshirts.com is her site. And we started a YouTube page with it, where now every order, Julie will make a personal video to that person, and we email to them saying, thanks for ordering. And as we're packing that shirt, they get a video of their shirt getting packed. There's no way there would have been time to do that had we not had all this extra time, so that's kind of fun. And the lesson is that through every obstacle, there's always opportunities. We just have to be available to find and to celebrate those opportunities. So I'm having to live what I tell other people to do,
Right.
in this time, for sure.
That's awesome. So Laurie Trotter's with us. Hey, Laurie. Stacy Reed says, we love Julie. They don't love you, Derrick.
Yeah, no, I know. I understand. You know, I
we
get
love
to,
we love
buy
Julie.
social.
I know. So Susan's watching us. Hey, Susan. So it looks like we've got a lot of people watching. I'm really sorry if we don't see your post. I see one screen in front of me, and I'm trying to follow on the phone to see some of the posts going live. I'll try to take a look down there. Tanya's watching us. Right now. Hi, Tanya. Good to see you. You guys, hey, share this, post it, would you? Would you share it? Maybe do some watch parties. Invite your friends to tune in live with us today. We'll be posting it later if you know, for those that can't stay. But the good news is you can kind of share it and have some watch parties. So that'll be awesome. So Randy, I hear you moved to Florida. What the heck?
I did. Life is about choices, right? And so sometimes somebody has to choose to be amongst the palm trees, right? But you know, it's one of those situations that my mom, who had lived with us a long time, she came down to Florida, and we decided to get near family, and you know, that's important.
Yes, for sure. I wish, I guess I love Florida. It's one of my favorite places to be. So I will say I'm a little jealous, but whatever. we're hanging out here in Illinois doing all right. So are you in New York right now, Derrick?
I am, yeah.
Okay, at your parents'.
I don't think when I did 6 years ago, I wasn't. Now I don't have a house or an apartment. I travel exclusively.
Oh
Like
yeah,
everything I own is in a carry-on bag. I don't even know if you know that. I mean, I like
I
all of
didn't
my
know.
possessions are in a carry-on. That's why I only have the 7 shirts.
That's why you only have 7 shirts.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point. And I only travel. I live in hotels and everything. So thankfully, my folks, you know, and Julie live in Syracuse, and they have an extra room, so I've been able to crash here. And thankfully as well, I love my family. So you know, we're
Right.
having, it's been a lot of good quality time. And something else we could share, Julie, for those of you who don't care to see me, uh, which I can understand. Julie and I go live every day. We've done it the whole lockdown thing at 3:21 because, and that's Eastern time, because Down syndrome is a third number 21 chromosome. So 3:21 p.m. Eastern every day. If you go to my321smile.com, you'll find Julie live, and we'll either be on Instagram or Facebook, but always if you just go to my321smile.com, it'll just forward you to Zoom, or we're still figuring out which platform is the best. But she's amazing, man. And it's just a shot in the arm of joy and love every day. And it's been so fun. And that's another obstacles, opportunities. I never did a live anything, you know, meeting or Zoom or Facebook Live or anything until this. And now it's opened up my eyes and my thoughts to all kinds of different things. So again, obstacles present opportunities. We just have to be ready to embrace those opportunities.
Yeah, and we'll come back to it in a little bit, but a lot of people watching may not really even know all of your story, Derrick. So, you know, sharing some of those obstacles that you've overcome that we don't even think about anymore because, you know, we don't see them anymore because we know you and love you, but you've had to overcome a lot of obstacles and turn them into opportunities. So we'll come back to that, but I do know people may want to hear a little bit about that because that's just, you know, some of those obstacles that you've overcome, traumatic obstacles, are inspiring. You know, it inspires people to say, man, if he can overcome something like that, surely, you know, I can overcome whatever it is that we might be going through now. So Randy, I know you're a fox. You're a fox. Yeah. Randy's a fox. Randy Fox. I know you're a sports guy. Yeah.
Randy's a fox. I'll be over here in the corner.
That's awesome. So, and actually both of you guys kind of are sports guys because I know Derrick, you were all around state sport guy when you experienced your injury when you were a teenager. But Randy, your job that you did full time. I mean, now you're a full-time motivational speaker, and you have programs. You and I are kind of on that platform where we love to help people achieve their goals and provide them programs. And we want to learn about some of those programs that you can offer to encourage and help people. But you also work for the Women's Basketball League. Is that correct? You're a referee, do some reffing for them?
Yeah, so I spent 23 years as an NCAA women's basketball referee, mostly in the Midwest, and some amazing experiences, leadership lessons, team building opportunities. Talk about failure. I mean, we screwed up every day, right? We never wanted to admit it, but referees don't always make good calls. But spent 23 years doing that, and I retired from the court. And I also retired from the corporate world. And like you said, have been blessed to be doing this, traveling the country for the last 7 years and inspiring leaders and teams to achieve their maximum potential. And but one thing we were talking about, you know, with sports, and obviously right now sports are pretty much shut down. No different than Derrick and I, you know, we're our businesses, we can't go out and see people, which is what makes today just great to at least be able to invest in people. But every year, every season comes to an end. You know, we always said that in the basketball world, the referees would get out there from the end of October through March, and we'd have that season where we were working, and then that time would end. And a lot of people call it the off season. And I don't call it the off season. I call it the training season. And so right now, some people are saying, well, we're kind of in an off season of our lives. No, you're in a training season. What are you doing to prepare to get ready for the next thing? There's always that opportunity that we're focused on something to continue that journey of success. And if we just sit back and say, well, I'm off, well, off, it usually means no activity. And we all need breaks, but I really rather call it the training season, and focus on what we got to do next. And there's things that we can still do today. As a matter of fact, my wife and I are going to do a FaceTime tonight, and we're going to get on this platform called Trickster, and we're going to play euchre virtually with friends of ours in Illinois. And so there's things that we can constantly be doing versus saying, I now have to turn everything off. And I think this is such a valuable lesson that we can utilize all the time. So still miss my sports though, man. I just wish I could turn on a game or go somewhere, but it'll come back. It'll come back.
Yeah, you know, it definitely will. But I don't know what made me think about this. I have some friends that are bodybuilders, okay? And so they go through this intense training, right before they're about to do a show. Like they eat lettuce every day and drink water, and they lean up, and then they get into the best shape of their lives so that they can do this show and compete as a bodybuilder. And then all of a sudden that show's over. And then for like a week, they just pig out. Like they immediately, as soon as they come off the stage, they're like, where's the ice cream? Give me the wine, give me the ice cream, give me all these things that I haven't had. And when you were talking about that off season, that training season, I got that vision of, you know, maybe some of us, when this first happened, our shelter in place, we may have kind of went off the deep end a little bit, where we did eat the ice cream or say, you know, screw it all, I'm just gonna sit on the couch and watch TV and drink beer or whatever. And I think that's normal. I think that's like what happens, you know. I'm sure at the end of a season, those athletes take that moment to say, praise the Lord, I can relax for a second. But then it's, you know, quickly you have to kind of get back, and you do go back to your normal living and doing the things that you need to do. And I don't know, I was thinking about that too. You know, it's kind of like sometimes you take that break, but you got to get back to reality. You got to get back to the things that really do satisfy you, fulfill you, make you feel accomplished, and like you're fulfilling your purpose, I guess. So yeah, Derrick, I know I follow Julie on Facebook. Her posts are hilarious. Like, I swear, if she just wrote hello, I would laugh. I don't know why.
It's because she's got the love chromosome and you and I don't. I mean, it's organic. It's so genuine. Julie is so focused. I just shared this on a live yesterday. She's so focused on other people naturally because she was born with the love chromosome. I asked her, this changed my life to some extent, the way I think about it or try to think about things. I said, Jewel, this was when we were on the road. I said, what's your favorite pizza? Because we're going to get pizza. And she goes, it's sausage. And then she thinks for a minute and she goes, well, unless mom's here, then it's mushroom. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. I mean, I know mom likes mushroom. If mom's there, her favorite is what makes other people feel good. Isn't that crazy?
That's like, so awesome.
Want that. I want to be that person. And then when she says a little joke, she came up to me on the live 2 days ago and she goes, I have a joke, because we do a joke of the day and it's usually something silly, And she says, I have one. And I'm like, oh boy, because we usually write it ahead of time and get it set up and she does the punchline. She goes, what's a frog's favorite beverage? And the joke of the day before that was about a frog. So I thought she's just making something up, right? And I go, I don't know, Julie. And she goes, Coca-Cola. And I was all expecting it to be so, and that's like the best one we've done, There you have it.
Yeah. And joy. It is that just laughing, just having some fun, and I think that's an opportunity as well, Derrick. I mean, you and Julie are doing those live shows. That's something you just started doing, right? I mean, it's just something.
Yeah, we never did, anything live. I mean, I knew it existed and I'm like, nah, I was, especially when, I had money coming in for other things, there's less motivation to expand the territory. I hate to admit that, but, now I have to figure out other ways to just have influence and everything. So yeah, so it's like, I don't see it stopping. If we went back to work and everything tomorrow, I'm having so much fun every day at 321. That's what I do. I mean, it's going to be, and when I'm not crashing at my parents' house anymore, which I don't plan to forever. Julie travels with me a lot, but not 24/7, not 365 days a week or a year. But I think I'm probably going to keep doing this at 321 just because it's so cool to engage like we are now. I'm trying to follow the comments on Facebook too.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to give a shout out really quick. I want to make sure you guys are watching. We so appreciate you for watching. I see Melody. Hey, Melody. Melody says hello. So, hey, back to you. I see Ruth is watching. Miranda, Kurt White says hello. He's I don't know that you guys met Kurt before, but Kurt has been huge in helping us at I've Decided, and he's been volunteering and working with us now for over a year, and he has an amazing motivational message, living life as a handy-capable person, and just really, really, really awesome. He reminds me a lot of you, Derrick, to the point that he's funny and he's had to overcome some obstacles and challenges, but there's nothing that he cannot do. Like, I mean, the dude can, without an arm and a half an arm and half a leg and all these things that you would feel.
Yeah, is he a fox?
Because that is a requirement today.
Hey, Kurt, I know Lisa, his wife, thinks he's a fox for sure. No, he's a fox. But, he's awesome. And I just love stories. I love stories like that. Derrick, can you share a little bit about some of your obstacles that you've overcome really and truly to get to where you are today, and just inspire people? I just think it's so inspiring.
I appreciate your saying, obstacles I've overcome. I feel more like I'm in the process of overcoming things. I don't know that we ever overcome anything or should overcome anything, because I try to still use it as fuel. But essentially, I was a kid and sports were a huge part of my life. I MVP'd in 5 sports, blah, blah, blah. And then one day I just had a headache. and I laid down. I went into a coma. They told my parents I would die that day, and I didn't. So that's pretty cool. You know?
Thank God.
And,
So glad you didn't.
yeah, I had brain surgery. Um, Usually I have really short hair so you can see my scar because it's kind of cool. My scar is in the shape of a question mark, and they don't know what happened to me. So I think that's pretty funny, you know. Like I don't even think the doctor had to do that. You know, they put a metal plate in my head, so now I can change my mind with a magnet. That's really weird, you know. Sorry. But I lived in a wheelchair. I had to start my life over like I was a baby. I had to learn how to walk and talk and not cognitively. I still could talk. I just couldn't physically talk. You know what I mean? Like, so I had to physically learn everything all over again. And it was a pretty long process just getting to walk and then, you know, working on other things. And the end result is the reason that I'm sitting at this angle is because my left side's paralyzed. You can't even really tell, but you know, we always think that like when you think you have a bad hair day, nobody else notices, right? You know, so it's natural, but I can't use half of my body. You know, like you do the YMCA, I do the LOL, you know. Sometimes I feel left out. This is hard when I can't hear laughter, but I'm all right, you know.
Well, you
But
can, if you see me laughing, you know it's funny.
I'm
but
laughing.
I'm like, I think there's laughter there. But you know, the point is, you know, I try to teach people to look on the right side instead of look on the bright side, you know. And but that's not something, you know, I still learn things daily, and there's still challenges that not only me but everybody has, and overcoming, I think, is a process. And that's, you know, we all have obstacles, and my choice is to try to use those obstacles as opportunities. But what it doesn't mean is that you're going to like the obstacle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Right.
like being paralyzed. You know, I mean, I love my life, and I'm happy with who I am, but I wish I could use my other arm. You know, Julie, my sister, you know, it's hard for me to talk without relating things back to Julie. She has Down syndrome, and she says, you know, I have Down syndrome, he's paralyzed, but we love our life. And when we speak, and it's the unspoken message is, you know, what's your problem? You know, or not that harshly, but we all have something. You know, the way I say it is we all have a left arm. We have something. Mine's just a little more obvious. Funny side note, and then sometimes we talk about, Julie and I will talk about, we have a brother and sister. Both of them are married with kids. We love being uncle and aunt. But Julie and I are both single, and she'll make a point to say, but it doesn't matter. You know, you can love your life. It doesn't matter your situation. So that's kind of the theme. We were in St. Louis. We did a big event, and then they put us on TV to interview us. And they said, hey, we loved your presentation. Can you tell us a little bit about your story? And they give me the microphone, and I'm confident. I'm like, you know what? I said, Julie can tell you. And I give Julie the microphone because, you know, as you know, everybody would rather talk to Julie than me. And she looks right in the camera on TV, and she's so confident. And she goes, yeah. She goes, we're both handicapped. She goes, I have Down syndrome, and he's single. And the cameraman drops the camera.
Drop the mic.
I start crying because I'm laughing so hard. And she realizes that she, you know, combined two of our talks. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I go, no, Julie, don't be. I'm like, I've never written a line funnier than that. Like, I'm going to use that the rest of my life. So,
That is
the obstacle
hilarious.
of that line was used as an opportunity to make my show better, you know? So.
Right. Well, the material, the natural material, that's what makes it so funny, is it's just natural material that just naturally happens when you're surrounded with someone who really is just honest and just doesn't have a filter and kind of just shares what's on her heart. I mean, just lots of funny stories.
He sure does, man. And you know, we talking about the overcoming thing. One thing I wanted to share is, I don't even know if you know this, that I played basketball. Basketball was not my favorite sport. Football was, and what I was the best at. But after I was paralyzed and started walking and everything, I still had a passion for sports. I coached semi-pro football, but I was able to play basketball overseas with one arm and one leg. You know, I mean,
Wow.
not like a special league. Yeah, I played in the Philippines and I played in Mexico. I was a lot younger than I am now. So that doesn't change, you know, I mean, but yeah, in like the 90s, I played over in the Philippines and I played in Mexico, literally using only one arm and walking with a limp. So it presented a lot of challenges and was a very unique situation. But the tendency as a speaker is to say, so you can do anything you put your mind to. And Randy, I don't know if you share that line in your talk, but I hate that line. You know, you can do anything you put your mind to. No, you can't. That's stupid. I mean, think about that. You can do anything you put your mind to. Like, what if I want to fly? Am I going to fly? You know, no, but that's not a negative. I mean, there's things in our lives that are impossible and we can't focus on that. You know, the fact that I can't fly doesn't make me sad, you know, but what everybody can do is start here and get to here. You know, we can always be in a state of overcoming and always be improving. And that's what I try to do to this day. You know, I mean, I still learn things that I can do that I didn't think about. And my obstacle, my disability, whatever you call it, you know, we all have them, has presented me with things that never would have happened. You know, I don't know that I would have been a motivational speaker. I don't know that I would have been a comedian. You know, maybe I would have played for the Jets, or I don't know, you know, I mean, but the things that, and that doesn't, and again, that doesn't make one of those better than the other one. It's just that your obstacles and everything kind of change the path, and the opportunity is exciting. And our job, I think, is to embrace those things, you know, and that's what I try to do.
That's awesome. I got to say this really quick because I don't want to miss this. So Kurt's watching, my friend Kurt that I was sharing, and he said, at least you couldn't double dribble.
Oh, that is awesome. I'm going to take that.
He said, at least you couldn't double dribble. But his message is very similar. You know, when he shares his story and you see him, you can obviously see his disabilities. And his line is, so what's your disability? Right? You might not be able to see it, but you have one. Randy, I know that.
I write down that double dribble line. That's pretty good.
Write that one down. That's a good. At least you couldn't double dribble.
Yeah, I did. I tried wheelchair basketball when it first happened, and I was in the wheelchair. But I mean, I only had one arm still, so I was just like going in circles, you know. It's funny, and they kind of mocked me like that. The wheelchair basketball industry, they're serious about their game.
Oh, yes, they are.
Call it murder ball. There's a movie about it, and I was horrible. So they didn't shun me, but they kind of, you know, it was not a good spot for me, right? You know. So then when I was able to walk, I went back and volunteered to be a referee, ironically, right? You know, because I had played basketball, whatever, you know, and they didn't take me. They said I was too one-sided.
Oh, nice. That was
it's a long way to go. But
that's a long way to go for that one.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The double dribble reminded me of that one that I've been writing. So
yeah, that's hilarious. Well, I know, Randy, I mean, you know, we all have stories, right? You shared your story, and I know you intertwine your life story into your presentation. You know, I love, to me, stories are our testimony, and our testimony is what helps people. I think, you know, when we share our testimony and we share the parts that were hard, the parts that we don't necessarily like, what Derrick was saying, we don't like that we had to experience those things, but we figure out how to adjust and adapt and continue to work to be a little better and a little better. And I love that you said that, Derrick, because really that's what I decided is all about. It's about just helping people be the best that they can be a little better and a little better. But Randy, you know, I want to remind us a little about your message and your inspiring story. And
yeah, I think, and I loved what Derrick was saying. And I also have to say that I hate that line that you can do anything that you set your mind to, right? So my story is my story. And I wrote down 3 things when Derrick was talking. And the first thing I wrote down was that everyone has a story, and that your story is constantly being written. And it's not about comparing stories. It's not about necessarily looking back and saying, I want my story to be different. It's your story. And part of my story is that my high school sweetheart that I'd been married to for 13 years, and we had 2 young boys at home, we had a journey where she was diagnosed with an incurable cancer, and she passed away when she was 36. And so at 37 years of age, I'm looking at my life going, this is not the story I would have written. And then it dawned on me, we all have that in our life. We all have a story. And so the second thing I wrote down when Derrick was talking, and it's really focused on what I speak about, right? My purpose is to help people increase their performance, maximize their potential, and be fulfilled in life. And so the second thing I wrote down when Derrick was talking is that we have to utilize our story to do what we can to influence the world, wherever your influence sphere may be. We don't all get to be on stages. We don't all get to be celebrities. Some of us live in a small town. Some of us have a small family. Some of us are working at a metal finishing factory, and our influence is right there with those people. Some people are teachers, and they're working with underprivileged children that right now are having to have their parents drive them to a school every day so that they can get fed, because that is their only means. That's the sphere of influence. So the power is taking your story and your sphere of influence, and it's then the third thing that I wrote down. What are you pursuing? What difference are you trying to make for your family, your community, in your work? Right now, I'm in the process of writing a new book, and it's called Silver Platter Service: How to Create a Culture of Excellence. And the pursuit isn't, so many times we hear people saying we're on the pursuit of perfection. That's nonsense. Perfection cannot be attained. We should be on the pursuit of excellence in each and everything we do. Whatever your gift is, whatever your skill is, wherever your sphere of influence is, when you take your story and you do your best to positively influence the community in which you live in, to constantly, as you said, get a little bit better, that's the pursuit of excellence. And when we do that, we change our lives, we change the world, and really it's when we find the most joy, because we're now living out a pursuit of changing others' lives in a positive way by using our own story, to bring that forward. And so to me, I do share a little bit of my story, Kim, but most of the time, as you know, I want to talk about how people can utilize what they're doing to make a difference in their daily lives. And it's not just about improving the bottom line at work or improving the test scores in a school or making more money. It's about making a difference in people's lives. The results take care of themselves. Let's pursue excellence. And I also, I didn't write this down, but hanging in my house is a sign that was made for me by one of my clients. And the sign that they made was actually one of my quotes that I have said, and then it's in one of my books. And it simply is, love the life you live and love those you live it with. And that quote for me, we have it hanging in our family area, in our home. It was so special that one of my clients read the book and said that's what spoke to them the most. Really, when we take our story and our sphere of influence and our excellence and simply just say, I'm going to love my life and I'm going to love the people that I live it with, that is full. Whether you are sheltered at home or whether you are in a stadium of 100,000 people or whatever you are doing, that to me is living a full life and making a difference to change the world.
That is so powerful. And I don't know, this is so ironic because I know for a fact, Randy, that you don't know this, but Derrick, I actually have a shirt from our first conference, the shirts that we sold at our first conference from Derrick and Julie. And it's a shirt that Julie designed that says, "I love my life."
Beautiful.
And I still have my shirt and I wear it all the time. And I just got chills because I know that you didn't know that. And here the two of you are on this. You've never met, to my knowledge, you've never met each other, correct?
We have not met. No. This is the first time we're meeting right now today.
Right. So this is the first time. And can you believe, Derrick, that he has that quote in his book?
I can, because that's the way these things work. I also know where you can get one of those shirts too.
That's true.
JuliesCoolShirts.com.
JuliesCoolShirts.com. JuliesCoolShirts.com.
That was her very first design. And I think at that point, that was her only design, I believe, when we were there. And now she's got one now that says, "I'd rather be slow to learn than slow to love." She has one that just says, "Just love." She's got some powerful messages, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. I couldn't help but to say, wow, that's just so ironic. It's amazing how you just know. I feel like God gives us these little, I call them little popcorn trail, like when you know you're doing the right thing. Because, this was totally on a whim. Like, you guys watching, if we even seem like know what we're doing, that's a miracle. Because if you would have seen me like an hour and a half ago, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, none of this is going to work. It's just, it was on a whim. I just started thinking, how could I let this weekend get away without doing something? I mean, this is our conference weekend. And a big part of what we do and a big part of the service that we provide to our members are these 3 motivational leadership conferences every year to keep you guys motivated and encouraged and inspired to be your best self, to love your life, as these guys say, to take it to the next level, to whatever it is that you want to accomplish. We want to provide you those resources so that you can accomplish those. So this has been a tough week for me. I mean, today's Friday. Joe, my husband, should be working his butt off right now, getting everything ready for the conference tomorrow, loading up the van, taking it all, getting it set up, and it's not happening. And so on a whim, I'm like, what can we do? What can we do? And in prayer, you guys you just came to my heart. I reached out to, there's one other person I reached out to that wasn't available, but you guys were. So there were 3 of you that I reached out to, and 2 out of 3 were available. So that's pretty cool. And obviously, this is what was meant to be, the 3 of us having this conversation. And so I just wanted to provide some laughter, some humor, a space for people to just kind of chill and take a deep breath. And, we're going to get through this. This is going to pass. But we do need to continue on with our goals and dreams. We do need to keep fighting the good fight, if you will. And so I just appreciate so much of what you both are saying. Let's take a look here. Everyone is saying hello. Stacy Reed says, "I love this, Randy. Thank you." Oh, this is hilarious. Kurt says, "For example, I know I will never be a good hand model." I think he's referring back to when you said, not everything you can't do. There's some things that you can't do, right? So I think he was referring back to that. And I think that's the point. Let's focus on what we can do. What can you do?
Yeah, and one of the lines I use for that all the time is I say, control what you can control. There are a lot of things in life that are outside of your control, but what can you do that you can control? And I always remind people, you can always control what you're thinking, what you're saying, and in most part, you can control your actions of what you're doing. You cannot control any of those things from other people. And we get so caught up in what other people are doing and what other people are saying. Control what you can control. And it is an interesting time. And I think kind of like Derrick, he's now found this new platform, which I think, is so awesome every day. And at 3:21, you guys are going live. And now you're saying, I think I'm going to keep doing it, right? So here's this opportunity to control what you can control. And I had a friend of mine a couple of weeks that I had co-authored a book with. And he said, you know what, we need to do something right now. We need to help people right now. And so I recorded the entire book as an audiobook because everybody's sitting around right now and taking long walks. And so literally about a week and a half ago, I put one of my books up on my website. You can go to foxpoint.net, and under resources, one of my books there called You're Missing a Great Game, which is really a play on words. It's about not showing up. We don't want to miss the great game. And it's there for free. It's an audiobook. All the chapters are right there. And it's just that opportunity to say, what can you control? And then go do something with what you control. And so we're always going to have things in our life out of our control, but control what you can control and then do something positive that helps somebody else. And, our mama's always said, right, if you don't have something to say that's nice, don't say anything at all. Well, I don't think that's quite true. But I think if we're going to say something, let's make it purposeful. I don't like nice. I like kind. Nice is telling people what they want to hear. Kind is telling them what they need to hear.
Yes.
And so, that's just some thoughts there based on what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think we can get confused with thinking that kind is telling someone the truth, and the truth is sometimes hard to hear, but it's worthy, and we need to hear it. Derrick, I can tell, I see your eyes twinkling over there. I can see it through the camera. You look like you have something you're wanting to say to us.
That's because this isn't water.
Well,
cheers.
I love it. Well, I do have water, at least right now, but I will say I was watching, I don't know, there's all these funny videos, out there, right? All these memes and things, and you got to just do stuff to make yourself laugh. You just do. Amen. And there's this one video, and it is just the most hilarious video. I've watched it at least 5 times. And it's, I don't know, I think her name is Adley or something. Maybe she's a comedian. I don't know. Maybe she's just someone who's got a lot of viewers, but in her video that she posted, she's like, if you have kids and you're homeschooling, you can start drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning. And she goes, if you don't have kids and you're not homeschooling, you can still start drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was just funny. So it reminded me of that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people, the day drinking memes are hilarious.
Yeah, I read this thing, it said it, I'm going to try to find it, that the people are drinking a lot more and they're walking a lot more because of this whole thing, so people are getting outside. You just want to get out, right? And walk, right. If you have that ability where you are. So people are walking the equivalent of 928 miles in a year now compared to whatever it was before, but they're also drinking the equivalent of 22.4 gallons of alcohol a year. I know. So apparently people get 42 miles to the gallon. I mean, that's awesome.
Oh, that's
I didn't read that anyway. That was good. I just did that. Sorry.
That's good.
Don't quote me on that. I just made that crap up. I was looking at nothing.
Yeah.
That's so funny, though. Oh. I tell you, laughter, there's just nothing, were you always, Derrick, I have a question. Were you always witty and funny even prior, or do you feel like that's kind of been a blessing and a gift that God bestowed on you as just something that would carry you forward, or where did that come from? Is it something, I'm just curious.
You met Julie. I mean, Julie is as witty as can be. I mean, when it comes, Julie has a cognitive disability or whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to humor and wit, Julie is way less handicapped than all of my friends. I mean, she's, and I credit that to my parents. My parents are awesome, and they're very funny and clever. And so growing up in my house, I'm one of 4 kids. This is four. In case you didn't know what four was, I felt the need to show you where that came from. One of four kids. You know? So anyways, we just, humor was always vital, you know, not intentionally or scripted. It just was part of our life. So that really, and for me, I just like the attention, clearly. And you know, through school, I saw the power of humor and all of that, and it turned it into a career. But yeah, I think thanks to my parents and my family, it's actually my friends in high school. One of my friends said this to me one time, or said to my friends, he came over to my house for dinner. We always had dinner at that table right there for, you know, with the family every night, you know, meat and potatoes. It was very Brady Bunch, but I'm so glad, you know, that we always did that. And one of my friends came over one time, like good friends, you know, came over for dinner, you know, 5 o'clock dinner or whatever. The next day at school, he says to my other friends, he's like, dude, he goes, you guys got to go to Derrick's house for dinner. He goes, it's like the Cosby Show. Isn't that awesome? And I've never been so proud. So if you had the chance to meet my brother Randy, my sister Christy, you've met Julie, or my mom and dad, you would see that, or my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, it's a Tennant thing. You know, I mean, we just, humor, there's so much value in it. And not only for you, I mean, it gives you joy. But one of the things I was just thinking about that may be the actual twinkle that you saw in my eye. Awesome. But the irony of sort of the things that we're talking about and love your life and all that is we all, of course, want to love our life, and we all want to have joy, and we all want to be happy, or whatever the definition is. And if you look at the people that are, you know, I would suggest a healthy proportion of people that have Down syndrome, like Julie, are happy, you know, and these are the people we want to, you know, shun. Oh, that poor handicapped kid, the retarded kid, whatever, you know. Everyone else in their life is trying to be happy, and they're not. These guys aren't even trying to be happy, and they are. And here's the difference. You know, we think to be happy, we have to go and get things and discover things and learn and receive and all that. And to be happy, man, all you have to do is give. Like it's ironic to think about, but I mean, think about the most generous person you've ever met. You know, there's no way I could know who you're thinking about, but I would bet my life that they're happy, right? And that's not Derrickology. That's just truth. That when we choose to have a life where we're focused on giving, then the irony is that it makes you happy. You know, I call it selfish generosity. If I had written a book, that would be a chapter in one of my books, audiobook or regular book. It would be called Selfish Generosity, because I really believe, and I try to live that it is. I mean, even if your motivation was exclusively, I need to feel happier or feel better, and that was the only reason that you were generous or helped or volunteered or did so, even selfishly, you just did it for that reason, I genuinely believe you would feel happier. You know, not as happy as if it was pure, you know, or coming from your soul, but just God created us in a way that it's beautiful, man. I mean, we all need happiness, and it's free. It's like right there. You know, just go volunteer or go give or, you know, donate, whatever. You know, there's not a rule of what that has to be, but it's counterintuitive. You know, I need to be happy, so I got to find someone that's going to coach me to be happier. I got to find a counselor or whatever. Nothing wrong with all of those things, but we have free access to contentment, to joy by giving, right? You know, and I see this in Julie every day. I mean, she's so funny. I got to tell you another Julie story because I just can't help it. We did an event with Mike Huckabee not too long ago, and Julie and I are friends with Mike Huckabee. He's awesome. He's a great guy, and but he was speaking right before us. We're backstage, and Julie loves the guy, but as you said, she's transparent. You know, she doesn't have a filter. And we're sitting backstage waiting, and she goes, "Can I go? Like, this is kind of boring." Like, she loves Mike, but she didn't. She's like, and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Just be back in, you know, whatever, 5 minutes or something, right?" So she leaves backstage. She goes to get a coffee or whatever. She comes back, and while she was gone, this was perfect. Mike used her as an example from the stage to 4,000 people, right? Like, how beautiful is the timing of that? I go, "Hey, when you were gone, he talked about you," and she's like, "No." You know, because like her brother, she loves the attention, right? You know, so she's like, "I missed it." He goes, "What did he say?" And I'm like, "It's actually pretty cool." He said, and this is what he said. He goes, "When I see Julie Tennant, I'm reminded that a person with Down syndrome is just as important to God as the captain of the football team. And Julie goes, which football team? Isn't that awesome? Because she's thinking, if it's the Browns, then, that's not a big deal.
That is so awesome.
Like, oh, she's amazing. I mean,
We got some comments here. I just want to share these with you. You're talking about being generous. Rich says, so in order to make the world happy, I should be willing to receive. That's what Rich says. Yeah, right. And
no, that's true. But you can't receive without giving, generally.
Right. He's being funny. He's trying to be funny too, Derrick.
No, that's the funny part is that like that's truth. It's so cool.
Yeah, happiness is similar to grace in the fact both can be given freely. Yes, that's awesome. So I tell you, this has just been really great, and I hope that you guys are watching and just taking this opportunity to just chill and relax. And if you're like Derrick and I don't know, drinking at 12:53 hours, though I know you're not really. It's really water. I know.
That's a huge glass. If that wasn't water.
I know, I'm kidding. It's water. But it's almost, what time is it in New York? It's 1:53 there.
That's right.
Yep. Who knows?
If I drank that much, I would walk straight.
Right. You guys are on the East. You're both on Eastern time, right? So it's almost 2:00 where you are. So, all right, awesome. Well, this is exactly what I wanted to happen. I just wanted to catch up with you guys, and I knew I'd get some laughs and some inspiration, and I just felt like our community, the world, we need to just chill and just kind of have some fun. And it just seemed like a good thing to do in honor of our conference that we couldn't have tomorrow, to have an UnConference today. So this is our... Let's do it again. So this is our I've decided UnConference, the UnConference conference. So I really appreciate it, Derrick. I'm really excited that you were able. It's great to see you. I can't believe how long it's been. We'll bring you back. Don't worry. We didn't kick you to the curb. We'll have you. We'll have you back. And Randy, you too. So are you doing some online stuff, Randy, real quick? Are you providing any online coaching or any online opportunities right now while people are at home? Or
Yes and yes. So yeah, I've had some clients that have we've done some virtual coaching, and as people are interested, so far most people are pushing things back further to be live on stage. But as I've been saying to people, if we're going to do something virtually, it's going to be live online. I'm not doing recorded webinars from a standpoint of here's just content that I've prepared and you can have it for your team. It's really more because a big part of what I do is high interaction, right? I don't use slides and PowerPoint and stand behind a podium. I need to interact with the audience, and I want that to be an interactive experience, even if it's virtual. So whether it's that or down the road, when we're all back on stages, that'll be great too. And hopefully someday we'll all be back in Peoria with you guys.
Oh yes.
And Julie, of course.
And Julie, we're taking it global. We're gonna be global. So
let's do it in Orlando.
Yeah.
Let's do it in Orlando in January.
All over for sure. I don't know if we'll make it to Orlando by January, but we will one day, I promise. Well, we'll have to get a whole lot of views on this to make it to Orlando by January. So, all right. Well, hey, you guys, we're gonna bring our UnConference to a close, and really want to just thank you guys so much for tuning in live. We will drop this recording out all over social media, but we would really appreciate it if you would share it too. Encourage your friends to watch and get to know Derrick and Randy and learn a little bit about our I've Decided organization and how we can help you achieve your goals and dreams. And to all of our members, we had we had quite a few of you guys tuning in live on Facebook. I really appreciate you, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you are a part of our organization. And it's been great. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts before we sign off?
Thanks for having me. Great to be
Yes.
with y'all. God bless you.
Stacy says, good to see you. So we will
Come back at 3:21 and find Julie.
at 3:21. Yes.
My321smile.com. There
Okay.
you go.
Awesome. I'm gonna stop that.